Hi, I'm Jeff Danneman with the Woodturners Guild of North Carolina. Today we're going to do a demonstration of the Hanukkah dreidel. Brief history of Hanukkah. The Greeks and their Syrian surrogates ruled Jerusalem. The Israelis revolt, run them out, reclaim the temple. They were going to relight the lights in the temple, the menorah. They found one vial of oil. That'll last one day. It takes 8 days to make more. So they light the menorah with the one vial of oil, and lo and behold, it worked for 8 days. That's the miracle of Hanukkah. In Hebrew, Nesh Gadol Hayim Shem. So we use this dreidel with the acronyms Nun, Gimel, Hey, Shem to play a game. Everybody antes up. Today we're using coin-shaped chocolate wrapped in gold-colored foil. You ante up, spin the dreidel. If you get a gimel, you take the pot. A hay, you get half the pot. Nun, you get nothing. And Shem, you have to put money in. That's the Hanukkah version. If you make these things, you could make up your own game, put your own letters on. Traditionally, square cut, round bottom. When we do tops, we want to keep the center of gravity low. Here we're doing a top-heavy top. So we do the rounded bottom and it'll spin pretty well. What I see today is an awful lot of artistic dreidel. We're going to show you some pictures here. This first piece is an inside-out turning dreidel in a dreidel on a cherry base. This next piece is done in big leaf maple with layered dies. And this third piece is a melee burl the size of a pen blank turned into a very tall, skinny dreidel. So we really want this kind of shape for playing games, and 1 1/4 by 1 1/4 works well. I've seen them T90. But when we go artistic, all the rules are gone. Today I'm going to go 1 7/8 by 1 7/8, a little bigger, make it easier to film. These do get a little bit trickier to spin. You've got to stay straight up and down and don't. And it'll work. What we want to do is start with a square blank, 2 by 2 machine down square, mark dead center. Here we want to go Duxbury measured, right on the money. I'm going to start between centers. We're in Ted's shop and I'm not used to his lathe. We're here because Jill said we couldn't use my garage. She didn't want anybody to see the mess. And the acronym is SAFER. Speed, aim, fasten, eyewear, rotate. Face shield somewhere. So I'm going to use a 3/8 beating and parting tool. That's the right thickness for the jaws on the chuck. Turn about 2,000. We're not going to do a Jimmy Clues on this thing. If you come in from just below center to start, you don't get quite as many fuzzies. And with this chuck, I know that when I get just round, I'll grab the jaws right. can also get a little hint looking at these as to whether you're on center, and we look to be right on the money. So we're gonna now, I didn't get a deep shoulder all the way around. I knew I wouldn't. So what I'm going to do is center the high points right in the middle of the jaws. That'll give me the most hold I can get. Alright, so we're going to start up again slow and out of the way. We want to keep these edges nice and sharp. We can do that with gentle cuts. A nice crisp edge there. This live center is going to get in the way real soon, and I'll show you why I use it anyway in a little bit. And that's about as far in as we're going to get with that live center. I'm going to switch to a spindle gouge. Try to take too big a bite. Let's see where we are. Sharp edges, decent rounded shape. Maybe a little more on there. I'll take it. When I do get a little chatter in this end grain, I'll clean it up with a freshly sharpened skew. This was the last side sharpened, so the burr's up, dead center, and I can take care of that little nib real easy, clean up any mess I've got here. Today, little 220 grit and we're in business. The reason I like this live center is I can knock the point out. And I can bring it up. I use this piece of rubber. This is the strip that you put at the bottom of your garage door. I bought a roll of it on these sharp edges. And I can protect my piece and use tailstock support while I cut the handle. It's kind of important because you've got a lot of weight out here and it's going to want to rock and roll on you. We're going to come up maybe 1 7/8. Nah. 1 3/4 or so. I'm going to go a little under square. We're going to remember that every line we draw is another line we're going to have to either sand off or erase, so we're not going to get overly aggressive. This parting tool will make a real nice entry cut. Should keep this edge reasonably square. I need to come up a touch on the tool rest. We're going to sneak up on my line. And let's check my spot. Ooh, nice and crisp. Choice of tool to make this cut with is, kind of personal preference. No right, no wrong, as long as you get a good cut. We've got a lot of waste wood here. Figure 1.5 inches on the handle, ought to be plenty. Since my block was a little short to start with, we might not be able to get a stand out of it, but that's okay. So we've got a real nice crisp entry cut. May want to come back a little bit more. A lot of wood to waste. And we'll finish up with a spindle gouge, he says. Oh. Here, having the tailstock support really comes in handy, or this thing would be doing some wobbling. Let's see where I am. Not bad. I'm going to leave this end of the stem a little fat so I can put a decoration on it. Can't get in here with a skew to effectively clean this up. So we're going to try one more pass, nice end grain cut. Looks a little long to me. a bit long and more dome than I want. We can clean that up with a little sandpaper if we wanted to, but not during demos. What you find is when you try to part off something that's bottom heavy like that, you tend to make a mess. Discretion is the better part of valor. And we'll take it. Stem needed to be longer. When you letter these, what I like to do is put Sealacell or the equivalent on them, something solvent resistant and chemical resistant. Then I'm going to use one of these oil-based marking pens. These don't rub off or come off easily, they wear well. The reason for the Sealacell is when you mess up your lettering, you can take this off with a little alcohol and a cotton ball. Most of us aren't real good with Hebrew letters. So what I do is give myself a grid to work with, and practice makes perfect, or in my case, practice makes acceptable. And we're going to wind up with something more or less like this. Thank you.